Welcome to Tibera's Den, everyone. My name is Whitney, and welcome to today's video. We are in Create a Sim doing Sims based on the season. So I did want to keep the occult theme going. So for my autumn season, I have my alien. She loves the outdoors. She's a farmer, autumn child, and an insider. And then here for winter, I have my vampire, and he's the Lord of the Knits. He's gloomy. He's a winter child, and he's also sleepy. And then for spring, I have my mermaid. He's a freelance botanist, cheerful, spring child, loved the outdoors. And then for summer here, I have my spellcaster. She's a friend of the world, active, a summer child, and hot-headed. And so with them, I kind of went, like I said, I wanted to keep the occult theme going. And so I was trying to match how I did my elements to kind of how I compare them to the seasons. So water was easy because water, you need water to grow things, and April showers bring May flowers. I know I've said that before. So water was easy, and so he was definitely spring spellcaster. So she was my fire element. Summer is hot, especially where I live. It's over 100 often, and so my spellcaster being summer was again a given. And for winter, of course, vampire, death, things aren't growing, everything's dormant. I thought that was worked for winter. And then autumn, I didn't know really how aliens tied in, but since my alien were my air element, I thought it did tie in because of the scents you get in autumn, like the brisk air and, like there's there's a smell to autumn. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just not explaining myself very well, but there's a smell and there's like a briskness to an air. So I thought it did fit as well. And then as far as their traits, for autumn, I gave loves the outdoor because I personally love getting out when the weather starts cooling off. I love being outside, and to me that's when you do like the campfires and bonfires and such, when it's cooling off, not and it's starting to get dark earlier, but it's still warm enough you still want to be outside. Farmer, that's easy, you harvest in the autumn, so that's why I gave her that trait. And then autumn child, all those are custom content traits, and obviously had to give her that since she's representing autumn. And then insider, I give her that one because to me autumn also means back to school and making friends and joining clubs and activities and such, so that's why I did that one as well. For winter, Lord of the Knits, I gave him that trait just because winter to me means staying inside and crafting and doing that kind of thing. I know that's not for everyone, but that's what I envision when winter. And then gloomy, I know a lot of people kind of get depressed during winter. Of course, he's a winter child. And then I put sleepy just because there's like a quietness about winter, nothing's growing, everything's dormant, and so I put sleepy. And then spring, of course, freelance botanist, you're growing flowers and fruits and planting stuff. Cheerful, spring makes me think of happiness and cheer, so I give him that. Spring child, of course. And then loves the outdoors because everybody's getting back outside, planting and doing activities as it warms up, so I gave him the loves the outdoors trait. And then for summer, I gave her the friend of the world because summer to me means traveling around and making new friends and seeing new places. So I gave her that trait. And then active because again, you're out and about and you're doing water sports and doing things with friends and catching up with family that you maybe not don't see the rest of the year. And then of course summer child, and I gave her the hot-headed trait, not just because she was a fire element and it's hot in summer, but also because I know I get really grumpy in summer, so I figure that was a good trait because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, just the heat getting to you and just being really grumpy. So that's why I gave her that trait. And then as you can see here, I've done most of her look. Um, I went with a shorter hair because I know for myself, I always cut my hair in the summer because I want it off my neck and not as heavy going into when it's going to be hot. And so I wanted to give her a short hairdo. And then I went with a pink look for her. I was originally like thinking yellows, but I was thinking anything that's bright and, you know, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but just bright. And I definitely went more with a girly aspect here doing the pink. But I definitely think it still works well for summer. And there were so many outfits that I could have gone with for her. I had a really hard time choosing, and it kind of came down to what I thought kind of went with the hat, um, because some of the pinks didn't really match well with the hat. And so I think I ended up going with this top here. I can't remember for sure if I found a different one or not. I really, like I said, there were so many good ones that I really had a hard time finding what I want. Actually, no, I did not go with that top. So there's another top that's similar to this one that I ended up going with, and I thought it was perfect because it had like the bathing suit top. This one, it has the bathing suit top underneath, and to me, if we lived near water, that's kind of what you do. You have your bathing suit on, and then something over the top, so you can go to the pool or to the beach, hang with friends, and then also maybe go grab lunch or do errands, all in the same outfit. And so that's why I went with this top. And then I thought about putting on like swimsuit bottoms for her, but again, you maybe would be running errands or getting lunch or something. So I ended up finding some shorts, and I did go with yellow for the shorts. So I kind of combined the two colors, and I thought it worked really well for like a summery look. And I tried to with the other outfits, keep the seasonal vibe while still, like the cold weather outfit. Is it doesn't really go with summer necessarily. So I try to kind of balance both, do a cold weather outfit, but still kind of keeping that summery vibe, which you'll see all those at the end. And then I really like these sandals, but I ended up going with just basic flip flops. Um, Something, pretty easy to kick off and just cruise around the beach in. I thought those sandals, as cute as they were more for like a day in town, not necessarily hitting the beach or going to the pool or something like that. I mean, they still would have worked for that, but I just went with basic flip flops. That screams more summer to me than anything. Is a good pair of flip flops. So, but that's it. I think I'm just putting on a few accessories. Her nails, of course, because she would definitely have painted nails. And then we'll move on to the next sim, which of course is Spring. And he definitely had the biggest transformation from where I started. So I started with this sim here, and he definitely had transformed the most. And again, not having used custom content in the past, like skin details made all the difference for this sim in particular. And I wasn't, like I said, I was just kind of going, with what I thought looked good. Um, and the way he turned out, like, I think is so perfect. Like, a lot of, like, pastel, like, kind of pale, Eastery colors. And he wears a lot of pink, too. Spring to me makes me think, love and Cupid. He kind of gives me a Cupid vibe. You'll see what I mean, especially for his formal look. But he definitely transformed the most. I didn't really like him at first, but by the end, like I said, he was one of my favorites. It's kind of a tie between him and Summer. But I absolutely love how he turned out. It's just, like I said, just completely changed from where I started. And then his outfits and everything. And he kind of reminds me a little bit of Phoenix, the sim I created for my fire element. He kind of gives off that same vibe, but in a more muted way. Um, Phoenix was fire, and so just very loud and red and bright. But he gives that off that same vibe, just like in a more muted way. You'll see what I mean, especially if you watch my Fire Element series, which if you haven't, definitely check those out. I'll leave them linked at the end of the video and in the description below. I had a lot of fun with that series, but trying to find a hair I did have a little bit of a hard time with. He's I like this hair, but it wasn't quite right. And so I ended up going, I think, with the very last hair that I put on him, which is this one. I ended up going with this one. I can't remember if I used this one for anybody um, in my other series or not. So definitely going to have to get some more custom content hairs because I don't have enough. And I'm like, did I use this already? But either way, it really works for him, and I love the color on him. And then I thought, spring he would definitely maybe have a start of a beard. I think that works well for spring and start of growth. So I did give him a little bit of a beard. And then, of course, mermaids, you start in their swimwear. So I started there, and of course I had to go back and do the skin details. I liked this one, but it made his cheeks weird, so I ended up not using that one. But I think I found one that works. Um, it's just so hard. There's so to know which one works the best. But I really liked how he turned out. And some of them completely changed the skin color, which you'll see on my Earth Sim. He's completely different, but the skin detail made him like very pale and muted, which I thought was perfect for winter. So, but yeah, so this is my spring guy here, I think. Yeah, that's the skin detail I ended up going with. And then I did give him a necklace. I figured he might wear necklaces. Like, he would accessorize too, for sure. And then he has tattoos. I definitely thought those fit him, and so I gave him some of the flower tattoos that I found in here. So there's one on his forearm, and then I do the one on the hand, and then I found like a one of the ones that go down his whole side and arm. You'll see here in a second, but I thought it worked really well. I meant to give that tattoo to my winter sim and I forgot. So I thought, ooh, I really like that tattoo. I can give it to my winter sim. Because I didn't think it would necessarily fit for him, but then I forgot. So this is his full, like, half body tattoo, which is cool because it shows up on his mermaid tail as well. So I really like that it showed up there. Now just trying to find him something to wear. I just wanted to go like flowery and anything that made me think of spring. So I ended up going with these shorts. I thought they worked well. And I debated between the pink and the blue. But the pink just wasn't quite the right color pink. So I ended up going with the blue. And then I just put the little green thing on his wrist. I thought about doing it on both wrists. But I thought the other side was already so busy. So I just put it on the one side. And then for my winter sim here, he turned out a bit different too. And I was trying really hard with him not to go the same route as I did with my earth element. I struggled with it a lot though, because I wanted to go with like the gray kind of tone, but I had done that for my earth element, and so I didn't like that. So I ended up going this shade, and you'll see when I put the skin details on, it is completely different. It just totally transformed him. And then I wanted a very like either light blue or gray color for his eyes, just very muted, and that's kind of what I just went with very cool tones and muted, nothing too extravagant on him. Um, 'cause that's what I think of when I think winter, just very muted and quiet, and nothing really stands out in winter time. And so that's kind of what I want to go for. And then since he is Lord of the Knits, I try to give him like some knitted sweaters and things like that. That would work for that aspect. I figured he would definitely knit, and if he was doing that, he would have that in his wardrobe as well. He wouldn't just knit and not make anything for himself to wear. So I tried to go with that aspect as well. And then again, trying to find a hair, which this one I went with because I love the color, very gray and dull. And I hate to say that because I like winter. I think I prefer winter over summer. Everything's just quiet, and especially around here, there's so many bugs and it's so hot that our winters are pretty mild, so I definitely prefer winter. Um, and it does get pretty drab and boring around here too as far as looks go. So I was trying to get that, but not in a bad way. I'm like, it's very drab and boring, but not in a bad way, like in a comforting, quiet way. Um, and so now I'm just trying to find it. So I found this skin tone, and you can see it's completely opposite from the other skin tone I had, but it works really well. And I did play around with giving him a beard or not, but again, winter, everything's dormant, so I decided to go against the beard on him. And then again, trying to find something that worked for his outfit. When I first started, I wasn't really sure which direction I was gonna go or not, and so I was thinking like something cozy and warm, but not too warm because it's his everyday outfit, so he's wearing it in different seasons as well. Um, so I was kind of trying to balance that line, just like summer. I wanted a summery feel, but at the same time that works for the other seasons as well. And so I ended up finding this one, and I really liked it, and I thought it was perfect. But then when I got to the pants, I struggled trying to find pants that I liked, and I think I went through the whole list twice before I ended up settling on some pants that I thought went with this outfit and worked for kind of his personality and such. Because there were some that worked, but they were a little bit too boring and a little too drab, and so I didn't really like them. And then, like I said, it just took me forever. But I ended up finally finding pants that I liked with the top and for him, and again, just kind of a cool, muted color that I went with there. And then his shoes. His shoes were actually probably the easiest part of his outfits, finding shoes that worked for him. But I do like how he turned out. He's probably my least favorite out of the seasons, but I still like how he turned out. I don't know. I hate to be like, I don't really like you, but it definitely was a challenge on him for sure, where the other ones were a little bit easier and a lot more fun to work with. Um, and like I said, I do like winter, so I'm not hating on winter, and I do like how he turns out overall, in the grand scheme of things. It just not my favorite compared to the others. So, but that's it. I didn't think he would necessarily wear a whole lot of accessories. Probably definitely wear some socks though, keep his feet warm. And so now we're moving on to my autumn sim. And I really liked her, and I had to do both outfits. I really wished though that they had where you can link their alien form with their disguise, because it's really frustrating, trying to get like the same eyes and the same nose and the same lips, and it's different, between the alien choices and the sim choices, and it's really frustrating. And then of course their skin tone, like there was no skin tone that screamed autumn, as far as this went. I did make her like a little bit more tan in her disguise, just I figured being out working outside and such, she would have kind of a tan to her. But her alien outfit, I just went with this pretty purple color, so I wasn't really sure what which way to go. I do like the eyes I found. I like how they have like the orangey brown tint to them. I thought that was really nice. And I did give her those eyes for both forms. So, and now this hair, there's there's one hair I almost wish I went with, but I didn't. I go with this hair, but the swatch, I ended up not going with it, and that was that one that I just passed, that brown kind of ombre looking one. Um, but I ended up going with the orange instead, which still works great for autumn, and I do really like how she turned out. And then for this outfit, in her alien form, I figure I gave her more like of a working outfit. I figured if she was working, she wouldn't necessarily put on a disguise. She'd just be more concerned about working. So for this one, it's more like of a work outfit. I have the work boots, and I give her some work gloves, and she'd be like harvesting and working on the farm in this outfit. And then for her disguise everyday outfit, I go a little bit more casual, like every day, in the house baking or going to town to run errands and maybe go to the farmer's market and sell some of her supplies and such. um, would be more for her disguise outfit. So that's kind of the distinction. And for her, a lot of her outfits, I gave her the same ones. Um, but for her everyday, her summer, and her winter outfit, I gave her different ones. And just kind of gave her more of a choice there. Where for the rest of them, I just made them the same. I didn't want to spend too much time on her. Um, but I do like how she turned out. I think she's pretty cute too. Uh, and she's definitely fits more my personal style and vibe, I would say. So, but, and then for their formal looks, which you'll see here in a second, I went with, I figured they would, at the change of each season, they would like have a celebration, and that's where they would wear their formal looks and kind of usher in the new season. And I gave each of them a ring, which I'll show you guys when we get to that point. But I ended up giving each of them a ring that kind of represents the power they have over their specific season. And then I also went with necklaces, which the boys, you can't see their necklaces, their outfits hide it. But I give them the same necklace that I gave Autumn here, just in different colors, and I can't remember which colors I ended up going with for them. But for Summer, I ended up giving a slightly different necklace just because her necklace didn't really. I tried to give her like yellow and it didn't work, so then I thought, well, I'll give her orange and be just the same as Autumn, but I didn't like that either. So I went with a different necklace that's kind of similar, but that had a yellow stone for me to be able to put on. And I figured they would each have that as a representation, and so they would definitely wear those, during the event to kind of usher in their season. And then their formal look kind of fits very well with their different seasons. So, but right here, I'm just trying to give her skin details and such for her disguise, um, which trying to find one that I liked for her wasn't as easy as I originally hoped. So I ended up going with that one, just pretty basic. And now I'm just trying to accessorize her. So I had these custom content, like leaf earrings that I really liked, and so I used those for most of her outfits, and then I switched to the other leaf one that came with the game for like one or two outfits. I can't remember how many I ended up using it on. And I didn't go over the top with her accessories. I figure she's working where Summer's, playing, and so she really wants to accessorize, where she would be more working and not necessarily worried about jewelry or anything like that. She has no problem dressing up and having a little bit of fun, but for the most part, she keeps it pretty basic. And I thought about going with another pair of overalls, and then I came across this dress, and I thought that worked really well as well. So I ended up keeping this dress on her, and like I said, this would be more if she was spending the day inside, like baking or anything like that, or if she was running to town to do errands or the farmer market or something like that. And I really like this outfit as well. I thought it was really cute on her, and I think it worked really well. But now it's just finding shoes that worked with this outfit, and so I ended up going with boots again because she's definitely a boots kind of girl. And then I wanted like some sort of tights or something underneath, um, just to kind of work with the season. It's starting to get chilly. You might wear some tights or something to keep your legs warm. And now I'm just looking to make sure if there's any accessories I want. But that's it for her. And now we're here with all their outfits. So you already saw her everyday outfit in her alien form. This is her formal look. That's the necklace. Like I said, I did it in orange and gave her that to everyone. And then I did a red ring. Just the red and oranges and browns of the season. And then I definitely went a little crazy with her makeup, and that's her workout, her sleepy time wear, which is the same for her human form. This is her party wear, so overalls again, but a little bit more expressive. Swimwear is the same. This is her hot weather. I absolutely love her hot weather for both forms and her cold weather as well. I think they're absolutely wonderful. And then you already saw that. So formal, same. Those are all the same. This is her party look in her disguise. And then this is her hot weather look and her winter look. Absolutely love all of them. I think I did a good job on those. And then here is winter. Poor guy. He's pretty basic. So this is his formal. I went with a pale blue ring. Basic blues and grays. For all his looks. I went with the wetsuit for his swimwear though, because I figured in winter if you're swimming it's cold and you would want a wetsuit to kind of help stay warm. And then this is his dark form. I really amped up his eyes and made them like startling blue. And then Case gave him the vampire things. And so spring here, love his formal look. I gave him the pink ring because spring just to me means love and kind of that vibe. And then so for his jammies party look, I gave him a little earring. You already saw his swimwear. Hot weather, cold weather. I had a hard time on him. And then this is his mer form, and so I put the little makeup on his eyes, and I love how the tattoos go down to his fin. So this is her formal, and I gave her the yellow ring, and then this is her necklace. Like I said, it's a little different, but I have the yellow. And then her makeup's very loud as well. Workout, sleepy time, party, and definitely accessorize that. The little shark swimsuit, love her hot weather wear. And then this is her cold weather wear, which I thought was really cute. But that's it for them. Check back on Friday. We'll be doing the build for these guys, and we'll see you then. Bye, guys.